Yehovah Elohim Svaot. Kadosh, Kadosh, Kadosh. Please fill me and lead me and cover me and stir me and speak through me with your Ruach HaKodesh, that I may speak your written words with boldness and humility to those who listen. I ask all these things in Yeshua HaMashiach's name. Amen. We'll start with the Shema. Listen and obey. Children of Yehovah, pay careful attention and respond. Yehovah is our power and authority. Yehovah works in unity with himself, and you shall act upon your love to Yehovah with your power and authority, with your thoughts and mind, with your entire body, and with all the muchness that you have. Yod, Hey, Vav, Hey. Hand, behold, nail, behold. Jeremiah Yirmiyahu, chapter 52. Zedekiah was 21 years old when he began to rule, and he ruled for 11 years in Jerusalem. His mother's name was Hamutel, the daughter of Yirmiyahu from Livnah. He did what was evil from Yehovah's perspective, following the example of everything Yehoiakim had done. And it was because of Yehovah's anger that all these things happened to Jerusalem and Yehuda until he had thrown them out of his presence. Zedekiah rebelled against the king of Babel. So in the 9th year of his reign, in the 10th month, in the 10th day of the month, Nebuchadnezzar, king of Babel, marched against Jerusalem with his entire army. He set up camp against it and built siege towers against it on every side. The city remained under siege until the 11th year of King Zedekiah. On the 9th day of the 4th month, when the famine in the city was so severe that there was no food for the people in the land, they broke through into the city. All the soldiers fled and left the city by night through the gate between the two walls near the king's garden. Because the Kasdim was surrounding the city, they took the route through the Arava. But the army of the Kasdim went in pursuit of the king and overtook Zedekiah on the plains near Jericho. All his troops deserted him. Then he took the king and brought him up to the king of Babel in Rivlah, in the land of Hamath, where he passed judgment on him. The king of Babel slaughtered his sons before his eyes. He also slaughtered all the leading men of Yehuda in Rivlah. Then the king of Babel put out Zedekiah's eyes, bound him in chains, carried him off to Babel, and kept him in prison until the day of his death. In the 5th month, on the 10th day of the month, which was also the 19th year of King Nebuchadnezzar, king of Babel, Nebuchadnezzar, the commander of the guard, and those close associated with the king of Babel, entered Jerusalem. He burned down the house of Yehovah, the royal palace, and all the houses in Jerusalem. Every notable person's house he burned to the ground. The whole army of the Kasdim, who were with the commander of the guard, broke down all the walls of Jerusalem on every side. Nebuchadnezzar, commander of the guard, then deported some of the poor people, the remaining population of the city, the deserters who had defected to the king of Babel, and the rest of the common people. But Nebuchadnezzar, the commander of the guard, left behind some of the poor people of the land to be vineyard workers and farmers. The Kasdim smashed the bronze column of the house of Yehovah, also the trolleys and bronze sea that were in the house of Yehovah, and carried their bronze to Babel. They also took away the pots, shovels, snuffers, basins, pans, and all the bronze articles that had been used in worship. The commander of the guard took the cups, censers, sprinkling bowls, pots, menorahs, pans, and bowls, everything made of gold and everything made of silver, the bronze and the 2 columns, the 1 sea, the 12 bronze bowls under the bases, all of which Shlomo had made for the house of Yehovah. It was more than could be weighed. As for the columns, the height of 1 column was 31.5 feet. It took 21-foot measured line to go all around it, and its thickness was 4 fingers. It was hollow. On it was a capital of brass 8 3/4 feet high, with netting and pomegranates all around the capital. All of bronze, the second column was similar, also with pomegranates. There were 96 pomegranates on the outside, with a total number of pomegranates in the netting was 100. The commander of the guard took prisoner Syria, the chief Kohen, Zephaniah, the second-rating Kohen, the 3 doorkeepers. From the city he took an official in charge of the soldiers, 7 close associates of the king who had been found in the city, the armor commanders, secretary in charge of the military conscription, the 60 of the common people found inside the city. Nebuchadnezzar, the commander of the guard, took them and brought them to the king above all in Rivlah. There in Rivlah, in the land of Hamath, the king above all had them put to death. Thus, Yehuda was carried away captive out of his land. The number of people deported by Nebuchadnezzar was as followed. In the 7th year, 3,023 persons from Yehuda. In the 18th year of Nebuchadnezzar, 832 persons from Jerusalem. And in the 23rd year of Nebuchadnezzar, the commander of the guard, deported 745 persons from Yehuda. The total comes to 4,600 persons. In the 37th year of captivity, Jehoiakim, king of Yehuda, in the 12th month, on the 25th day of the month, Eviel, Moradach, began his reign king above all. And in his first year he commuted the sentence of Jehoiakim, king of Yehuda, and raised him from prison. He treated him with kindness and gave him a throne higher than those of the other kings there with him above all. So Jehoiakim no longer had to wear prison clothes. Moreover, he was provided with food as long as he lived. And he was granted a daily allowance by the king above all to spend on his other needs for as long as he lived, until the day of his death. How can we learn to love our Creator after reading this 52nd and final chapter of Yirmiyahu? We can lead by choosing to obey the written words of Yehovah. Do what is good from the perspective of Yehovah. Follow the written instructions of Yehovah. Aim to please Yehovah and stay in his presence. Respect those Yehovah has placed in your life. Aim for unity with the children of Yehovah. Trust Yehovah as he is a loving father. Know that Yehovah took care of the poor and common people and allowed them to stay as vineyard workers and farmers. Worship Yehovah wholeheartedly. Know that Yehovah allowed some of the deported to be treated with kindness while in captivity. Trust Yehovah is full of grace and mercy. How can we love others as Yeshua loves us? We can aim for unity while in difficult times. Bear one another's burdens. We can respect others and treat them with kindness in difficult times. Produce spiritual fruit, love, joy, peace, patience, kindness, goodness, faithfulness, humility, self-control. We'll end this Shabbat with the Arianic blessing using the name. Yehovah will kneel before you presenting gifts, and he will guard you with the hedge of protection. Yehovah will illuminate the wholeness of his being toward you, bringing order, and he will provide you with love, sustenance, and friendship. Yehovah will lift up the wholeness of his being and look upon you and will set in place all you need to be whole and complete. Shabbat shalom, shalom, shalom.